Hello, hello, hello. Alright, so today we have Sushi. Yes, that's her name. She's like, yeah. She's a little Persian princess at natural temperament. Not to be confused with the service request, which is called the natural, which means she's going to get a long hair shampoo package, but with a full belly shave. And the owners have asked for one additional add-on, which is perfect, or pretty panties, which we'll show you. We'll show you what that looks like. So, do I do her face before or after the bath? I'm pretty sure I do this before. Not every cat is going to want their face being trimmed back a little bit. She's got a little knot right behind that ear, so we're going to grab for that little Chewy's mat breaker. Get underneath of it. And then just kind of rake it up off the back end of it. And then you're able to just pop right back out. Boop, all done. Took care of that. Too sweet. Yes, we did. Alright, she don't want me messing with her face, so we're just gonna leave it for now. Leave it. Just leave it. Work on her nails. She's like, am I gonna get beautiful? Yipper. You're gonna get a Brazilian, a full belly shave, an armpit removal, hair removal, a full coat restoration. She's like, wow. A little whitening and brightening shampoo on your white parts. She's being all over the place. So, how do we drop her down a notch? Well, you try Happy Hoodie. Just drop her down a notch. And also put her in a little princess bed. Yeah. There. Better? She's like, I guess so. She still doesn't like it, but at least she's not walking away. Alright, this way. She's like, I ain't doing it. You are. She's like, that's against my will, lady. Alright, well, we'll do it later. Alright, ready for her Brazilian? We're going to use the safety clipper. That one is all clipper. Okay. Let's get her on her side. And then work our way all the way up. There. Full extension of the leg. Waka, 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 waka. Because we just started about 2 minutes ago. And everybody was too stunned to speak. Is that all you have to say, Skittles? Is that all you have to say? Why are you worried about what everyone else is doing? Inquiring minds want to know. We're going to continue all the way up from the inner groin area all the way up the belly, and then under her armpits. Alright, so while she's there, get that magic secret sauce out. She's a hot mess right now, people, just so you know. Hot mess. That tail. Wowza, wowza, wowza. Alright, so that spray is the, here, I'll show you. The Le Pooch Detangling Spray, right? Now we have to go in and kind of break up some very, very big mats that are in her coat. And we have a mat breaker on standby in case we need it. I'm going to start with the biggest, whitest comb I have. Right? And if you buy that spray by the gallon, you don't have to skimp on it, right? We got plenty. Hi. How you doing, Islander? What's going on with you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. This is sushi. So bad. We better use this. Alright, so what I have is the Matador, right? The small one. It's a little different from your standard mat breaker, right? This is what the standard mat breaker looks like. And this is what a Matador looks like. Oh God, are you serious? For that thing that's been going around? I'm so sorry. Unless it was something else. Yeah, I had 2 weeks off for Christmas, New Year's, and I was sick the whole time as well. Crazy. Crazy. That is not how I planned to spend my holiday, right? Wait all year to take my 2-week vacation only to get sick? Are you kidding me? I did have someone here working with me for a little bit, and I think I probably got it from her. That didn't last very long. Bonjour! So it wasn't bad where I felt like I needed to go to the hospital, but I did go to an urgent care and ask for some penicillin because I had a really nasty sinus infection. So after about 3 days on penicillin, yeah, but it was more of a really bad headache, sinus infection with a mucus cough, right? So my body responds really well to penicillin. So I went to the urgent care asking for penicillin. They weren't going to give it to me. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not going to give it to me? They're like, well, we've got something else that's probably going to work a lot better. And I'm like, you don't understand, lady. She was a female doctor, very condescending. I said, I'm a cat groomer. Do you know how many times I've had to be on antibiotics for a cat bite back in the good old days? So my body does not respond to your normal, whatever it is that you want to prescribe to me. So give me my damn penicillin, or you can keep your money and I'll go somewhere else. Her jaw dropped. Her jaw just dropped. She moused away and then came back. I don't think she did come back to the room. The nurse did. It said, yeah. So within 3 days of being on penicillin, everything started to reverse, and the pain started to go away. Okay. So, all right. That would be COVID point 2, right? Mm-hmm. Sure. Oh, God. Was it for breathing? Aw, thanks, Two Skulls. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I didn't COPD on top of it. Me too. Me too, Islander. All of that. Yeah. Yipper. I had all of that as well. But it didn't. Well, that's unusual that you would say. It's unusual that you would say that, because I was at my local grocery store during the time that I was sick with all of that stuff, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. So they actually called an ambulance, and I was whisked away to a hospital. And so whatever it is, it affects. I think it affects the heart as well. Wow. Wow. This is Sushi, a Persian, who came in with really big, clumpy mats. So we are doing our best to get her ready for her bath. We don't want to bring her in with all of those big, heavy, clumpy mats, right? So we are doing a bit of the dematting process. Doing a bit of that dematting process before the bath. If I can get this through her coat, then she'll be ready for her bath, right? Well, she is a princess temperament, right? A very princessy. She is backseat cat grooming me a little bit, if you can hear in the background. She does have a little bit to say about this. Alright, now, other side. Starting with her back groin area. Get her almost on her back. There. Almost on her back, just to get her body in position to put in this belly shave, which is part of her service request. The natural means her whole belly is being shaved down. Right? Sort of like a cheat, a way for a cat owner to keep a cat in full coat while eliminating certain parts of their problem areas. It's like a cheat. You wouldn't know like 30% of her coat is shaved out unless she like rolled over on her side or her belly, right? Hello. Hello, Daniel. Mm-hmm. All right, we're almost there. It's kind of important to get her in the tub as fast as possible because 80% of the grooming is the bath. There should not be this amount of prep work when a cat is on a regular grooming schedule, which this cat is. Believe it or not, this is how she got in 10 weeks, I think. So obviously 10 weeks is not her maintenance grooming schedule. She needs to bump it up to something. Believe it or not, cats like sushi can and are born and bred for perfect temperament, right? But if you listen carefully, you'll hear her doing her little, please step away from the vehicle. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure which one I like better, the Matador or this one for the mat breaking. Oh no, she's a unicorn, a fluffy one. See, this is a $60 tool used in the grooming industry. This is a $12 tool that people in the grooming industry do not use. Yet it works better. Just saying. It's bad. It's bad, people. It's bad. So apparently, I guess she wasn't getting any kind of maintenance grooming at home. Normally she does. So maybe mommy was on the road or something. But when you put your cat on a regular maintenance grooming schedule, it avoids all of this prep work, which can cause a lot of cats to learn to hate the grooming process because they don't like this part. They don't like the part where they have to be dramatic like this, right? And it can teach a cat to learn to hate the grooming process, right? So to avoid all of that, you just go on a regular maintenance schedule to avoid things like this. But for whatever reason, she's just covered in really big mats, which says to me that her mom was very busy between her last grooming and this grooming, because normally she doesn't come this way. What white fan? What, this one? The space heater? Providing a little bit of warmth and a bed. It's for the comfort of the cat. It's so the cat is comfortable, right? for the purposes of this grooming and my peace of mind, we are going to, because of course the cat groomer needs to be a perfect peace of mind in order to groom the cat. So we're going to just temporarily turn that comment section off just for a little bit. And I will be turning it right back on again as soon as we get in the tub. Because not everybody is here to see a cat being groomed. Some are here because they think it's freaking social hour. Right? And let's talk about me and me and me and me and me. Right? Because after all, it's social media, right? Using all of my power tools right now. Big torque. Less tedious on the cat. We did it. We did it. Alright. Princess bedtime is over. Now, let's go in here. See if we can loosen up her haunches before she gets wet. She's definitely backseat cat grooming me, which means I'm doing it wrong. In case you're ever wondering, why does a cat grumble or growl? Because they're trying to tell you to stop. It's a clear indication that you're doing it wrong, right? Yeah. All right, right this way. Right this way. You're doing it in a way that the cat doesn't like. Not necessarily that you're doing it wrong, but you're doing it wrong for that particular cat, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because there's so many different ways to get the same thing done. If you're using the wrong technique, your cat will tell you, right? They'll let you know. Alright, here we go. Comment section is back on. Alright, let's get the water nice and warm. Get her warm wash ready. Whee! Warm wash is ready. Bubbles. Get that started. Alright, her first beauty treatment is going to be Pink Paw Paw degreaser. Wow. She's like, that feels good. Yeah. Alright. And then we're going to switch to the other degreaser. The other degreaser. The old cheapo. Groomer's Dip liquid. Right? You know, with her paws done. It's not just a degreaser. It also will help lift the white if there's any yellowing settling in, right? So, just so you know, don't you know? She's like, that feels good. I know. Let me hold it up for you. Oh, it's in the other room. Never mind. I buy it by the gallon. The liquid degreaser groomer scoop. It's only about $50 for an entire gallon. Yeah. Where you going? There are other degreasers on the market. I just haven't explored. I haven't done a whole lot of exploring yet. Thank you. Don't. She's like, now what? We let it process. She's like, you mean trust the process? Well, that too. Trust the process, but we're also letting that degreaser process. She has a poker face, so how can you tell whether she's happy or sad, right? Poker face. Cats are very greasy. What the hell are you talking about? Animals in nature. Even humans. Try not washing your hair for 3 months and see how greasy you get. Yeah, let's see how greasy you get. She hasn't been washed in 10 weeks, so that's 2.5 months. So you go ahead and not wash your hair for 2.5 months and see what happens to your hair. Pretty much the same as any other animal on this planet, right? Someone made a comment that cats are not greasy. Okay. Alrighty then. She's like, shut up and stop interrupting my spa day, bitch. This is my spa day, not yours. So shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up. Whoever the hell you are. Poof, be gone. Poof, be gone. Poof, be gone. She's like, that was fun. Alright. How about the ears? Hot mess. Hot mess. My duck is a tearless shampoo. What's in my little duck bubble maker? There we go. We're just going to clean the outer leather, and then we'll go in and clean the inner leather after the bath. Okay, most of that done. Alright, good. Alright, let's get started. She's like, on what? Your first grid. Head and chest and front paws. I try to limit my answers so that through the course of this video, I'm not constantly giving out the same exact answer to the same exact question. So if you just look on the title of this video, NT means natural temperament. Not to be confused with the natural, which is her service request. So for anyone who's following along and you ever want to wonder, you know, what's happening with the cat, NT stands for natural temperament. She was born and bred this way, right? She's a pure born princess, right? Wham. Wham. Hee. And do the first grid, which is her head, mane, and front paws. And get that taken care of, right? Okay, get this purple shampoo going. We already used the groomer's goop to help lift that yellow. And now we're going to use the purple Lay Pooch Bright. to lift it even more. Okay? Does anyone know what causes the purple? Does anyone know what that purple, how you get that purple? Anybody? It's ginseng violet. It's actually a plant. It's used a lot in pharmaceuticals. It uses it as an antiseptic. It's also used for its color. You put it in perfumes, add a little bit of color to it. I don't know what all it does, but it's also an ingredient that's used for a really great ear cleaner. Oh, hello. Yes, ginseng violet. There, you got it. Now, who would know that? Of all the people out there, who would have gotten that answer? Patra got it right, which means what? She's either a hairdresser or she's a groomer. Oh, exactly. That's why. She has 4 show cats. There you have it. So, Patra, the only person, isn't that funny how projection works? Isn't it funny how projection works? Right? The very thing you accuse people of is what you're doing. Patra. This is not your typical show cat grooming, Patra. So, I'm sure you got it all down packed. Anyone who shows cats, that is the gold standard of cat grooming, right? And then it trickles down from there, right? Yes. And then it goes down to, I guess, cat groomers, and then what would be next on that totem pole? I guess maybe cat breeders. Some breeders actually who don't necessarily show but know how to groom their cats. And then what's under that? Trained cat groomers. And then what's that after that? She's just chilling. She's just chilling. For a perfect pause, I'm using the Jump Bar. Or you can just use the Orvis, right? Yeah, you know who's at the bottom of the totem pole? Probably second to bottom would be dog groomers who have no training in cat grooming. And then at the very bottom would be veterinarians. Why? Because they have no actual training or knowledge or understanding or appreciation in cats being groomed. Some do. Yeah. Oh, cool. Cool. There actually was a mean lion across from Braxton's in Devon, right? Used to be a bar. Where you at now, Levy? Where you at now, Levy? I can't imagine anything being remotely the same as Philly. Hey, we're just rinsing all of the greaser out in her second grid and her third. And then we're going to go back to that purple. So you usually want to let that sit for about 2 minutes, right? To get it to do its maximum, right? About 2 minutes. The Pooch Bright by Lay Pooch is 1 part shampoo to 20 parts water, but I condense that to 1 part shampoo to 10 parts water. I make it a little bit more concentrated. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wee-hee. Uh-oh. Get her little rag. There. Keep her eyes nice and dry. Alright. Now, we're going to add a little beauty treatment. I wonder if Pata would know what that is. She might. I bet you she does. If she's still watching. This might all be old school to her. We have someone at the door who shouldn't be at the door, and I'm not sure why they're at the door. Because these are private grooming appointments, right? Last time I went to the door, it turned into a thing. So we got a little beauty treatment processing. Little beauty treatment processing. Whoever's at the door is not leaving, so I'm gonna have to figure out who's there. Give me 1 second. Well, it's a good thing I answered the door. Hello. For me. Oh my God. That probably would not have gone over very well if I hadn't answered that door. Homemade. Homemade. Oh my God. And I'm a cookie monster too. Right? So I'm going to have to put those in the freezer so I don't wolf that whole thing down in one day. She's going to come in shortly with her cat early for her grooming, so whatever. So I just left the door open for her. If she's not going to do well on top of the tub, then we need to put her in the tub, right? If she's not going to do good for the top of the tub, right? Just get her in the tub. Do it that way. A little bit of Orbis. She's been all over the place. And fully matted, so chances are the owner was on the road and traveling. Because cats will, their stress levels shoot up when their owners leave them. So this is not Sushi's typical normal grooming. She's kind of all over the place right now, right? That's what happens when you leave your cats, people. They get all stressed out. You know, you could fix that if you wanted to. You just go to that link in my profile, themainlion.live. Themainlion.live has all kinds of links on how to keep stress levels down, right? For all kinds of things, right? But if you go down to where it says Calming Cat Guide and scroll down, it'll tell you how to make hemp-infused kibble. So hemp-infused kibble is the best thing you can do for your cat if you're planning on going away on vacation, okay? Yeah. Yipper. And if they don't eat kibble and they eat wet food, you can still crush it into a powder form and get it into the wet food, or just buy a bottle of the oil. Good. Alright, and rinse. Whee! Might as well go back to this and rinse that out. Anyway, what I put on her head and mane was something called Thick and Thicker Protein Treatment by Chris Christensen. It's a little beauty treatment. It's a booty treatment for the beautiful baby. For the beautiful baby. She's like, I am? I'm beautiful? Yes, you are. Oh. Get that all rinsed out. Think we're there? Yeah. Okay. She's like, are we there yet? Almost. Almost. Wash, rinse, repeat, baby. All right, my owner is here for drop off. Let me just get the sound. Sorry, that was a quick drop off. You're eating a shake and bake pork chop? Alrighty then. That sounds good. Alright, see how she's just kind of in that comfort position? Remember how she was kind of all over the place before? Cats are really clear communicators. All you gotta do is listen, right? And then you change it. And you do it differently. Until the cat says, that's it. You know how the cat is gonna tell you you're doing it right? When they don't do anything. That's how you know you're doing it right. Okay? How else do you think the cat is going to be able to tell you that you're doing it wrong? They're going to use their teeth, their voice, their body. They'll figure it out. They'll come up with a way so that it's unmistakable what they're trying to tell you, right? And if you ignore that, as is taught in the pet grooming industry, to just completely dismiss what the cat has to say about it because the cat's going to get done whether they like it or not. That is the teaching, people. In order for you to get your master's degree? Yeah. So how about try mastering the cat first before you try to teach it? You know, the grooming aspect of it. Try mastering the cat first, right? Yeah. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. We gotta get in here and be mindful of any of these mats that developed while we were trying to wash her. Get most of that out before she comes out of the bath, right? Something I would highly recommend that you do. Just be mindful of what mats are in your cat's coat while they're in the bath. This little Beats brush, $6. About 250 raised nibs, all different heights. You hear that sound? That means it's hitting. That means it's hitting mats, right? Do I have to get them all out? I don't have to, because I have a velocity dryer that will help get them out later. So I don't have to do it that way. Alright, there. All done. And rinse, and rinse, and rinse. You did it. She's so small and sweet and petite. She's what you call a petite Persian princess. That's what I call them. All right. There. The white means it's a special rinse. There. Hey, you did it. Well done. Get her in a towel wrap. Double towel wrap. We'll start with one. Give that about a minute and then put her under another towel wrap. And then we'll probably put her in the carry shark bag for the rest of her grooming. You did it. What part did you not like about that? She said, you got my hoo-ha. Sorry. 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 Just gotta get your tail rinsed. Good girl. She is, isn't she? She's adorbs. Adorbs. Adorable. Alright, we're there. We're there. Okay. Let's get first toe rub. There we go. And where? Alright. Do this for about a minute. Right? Give that first toe rub about a minute. Oh, solo mio, my own. Right this way. Right this way. Baby girl. Right this way, baby girl. All right. Waka waka. All right, first tail wrap. Useless. Useless. After about a minute, pretty useless. Go on to the second one. Meow. Meow. Hee. You did it. Alright, let's start blowing out her face and do her eyes. Gotta be a better way to do this. For the purposes of a live, yeah, there's gotta be a better way. You just got to. The cord. Better? A little bit. A little bit. Mwah. They're blowing kisses at you, Sushi. She's like, right back at ya. Right back at ya. Hi, Kaylin. Hi, wild boobs. 5. Wow. Wowza, wowza, wowza. That's a high maintenance household. Right back at you. Of course. Wow. 2 Skinks and 5 Persians. What a household that is. Wow. Wowza, wowza, wowza. If you notice from the start of this grooming video to the end, her face will not change. She will be the same face throughout. So whatever it is that you see, that you think you're seeing, is only a form of projection from your own brain and what's happening in your mind, right? You're going to see what you want to see. But if for anyone with an open mind, you were to go to the start of this grooming on video, from start to finish, her face will never change. Right? One of the beauties of going live is that despite whatever the fuck you're saying in the comment section, the video shows otherwise. That's one of the beautiful aspects of going live. You did it. She's like, I did what I do. Boy, you get your face blown out. You get your face blown out. That's one. She's like, I am? Yepper. Waka waka. She's like, I feel beautiful. I know. I know, I know, I know. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. She's like, are we there yet? Almost. Almost. Just when you think you've got a handle on your New Year's resolution, this shows up at your doorstep. Hello. My God. Now what? Her ears are really bad. Right? We're just going into the nooks and crannies. We're not digging down into the canal. We're trying to clean out all the little nooks and crannies that are at the top of the ear, right? Sometimes you just give it a little swirl, and that'll help grab it. Whew. So bad. If the owner were to just use this product for 10 days, we'd knock that out. But she doesn't want to because she doesn't like it, right? So I'm like, well, you do have another option, which is to go to the vet. They do have a one-time treatment for ear issues. They inject it deep into the ear canal, and they only do it once, and that's supposed to knock it out as well. So should we do that? Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? Sherilyn. Alright. Here we go. wowza, wowza. Alright, is that it? She's like, yeah, done. As I'm stuffing my mouth with Christmas cookies, sorry. Say bye-bye. See you later. She's like, stop. Ah. I gotta hold her a little bit steadier. I gotta push her head right up to my chest to keep it steady. Waka waka. No. You look and smell marvelous. You look and smell marvelous. Oh, whoops. Alright, now what? Let's tip her ears. She's very sensitive on her face. Most Persians, when you're doing the face trim, they love it. It feels like a face massage, but not for her. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do is keep this on and then layer over top the sound of that the Salon dryer to try and fluff her out a little. If you use that do-it-yourself baby stand dryer, it'll help you to get to the point where you can actually use a velocity dryer with a variable speed. Right? You want to do this one? She's like, yeah. There. And there. And there. And there. So she's already processed that. That's not a threat. So now we're going to introduce the velocity dryer, which is not going to just dry the cut. It's going to lift and separate out the coat and loosen up any tangles that are still in there. So it's also a grooming tool. actual grooming. I know it's a grooming tool for drying, but you can also use it to groom. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Jelly bean. Takes about a minute to heat up. See that? Not even a response, right? So now we're going to put this on. Might need her princess pillow. Yeah, let's get her princess pillow. Got it falling off. She came in very heavily matted. We got most of it out before the bath. mola. Holy moly. Alright, other side. Whip. Good girl. Most trained cat groomers, you're going to see them doing this in something called the Caddyshack bag. Right? We're going to do this table side. So that velocity dryer just helped to lift and separate out a lot of that mat, which is, we left 20%. 80% was taken out before the bath, but there's still 20% left. And we're going to take an ooh-ah, which is about 1/10 the power and speed of the Salon dryer. And we're going to start combing her out. Can you see? All right, cool. A little bit of pink towel grooming spray. Project in half. You're doing it. You're doing it, little lady. Hey, doll. I used to be a dog groomer. Just as many dogs hate their baths as cats. There is no difference. The only difference is how they react when they don't like something. Waka waka. You're almost there, little one. She said I am. We'll make it snappy. Why, you got places to be? She said, yeah. Like what? Shop. Sleeping? The usual? Thank you. All right, let's see. Let's see, Belly Green. Let's see, Belly Green. All right, let's turn you around. See what's happening in there. Steady, here we go. Other side? She's like, yeah. Alright. Gotcha. Gotcha. mess. Yeah. That's a little bit of a hot mess. Keep that working. That should work. Alright. Let's see what that looks like. What's that look like? Alright, got it. Alright, one more. Alright, got it. Alright, you ready? Who's ready for what? You need to jump for bed. Right? Stay there. Alright, open up this. Okay. Almost. Almost. You did it. Alright. That's one way to do the final comb out, especially after you've washed the cat. A lot of that fur just comes right out like cotton candy afterwards. Not necessarily before the bath, but after the bath. It just kind of comes out like cotton candy. Alright, you did it. You're just about there. I'm going to use this piano comb for the finishing. If she were a show cat, I would be probably using this for her finishing, so she has the fullest coat possible, right? But for the purposes of pet grooming, most owners want a lot of that undercoat taken out, most, right? So it's almost the complete opposite of how you would groom for a show versus for a pet owner, right? Just has to do with what tools you're going to use, But yeah, there you have it. She's just gorgeous. What I'm gonna do is just put, thanks, two skulls. What I'm gonna do is just have her sit pretty in the box for a little bit, right? And then hope that that will relax her enough so that I can go back in and sculpt her face a little bit. Sometimes I'll use this dryer box to lull and calm the cat, right? So we'll give her a little bit of that, and then we'll go in and try and fine tune her face trim. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. That was the never ending groom, because she came in just with just handfuls of clumps and knots that we had to figure out how to fix and still keep her in full coat, right? So we got there. Just took a little bit longer than usual. Hence why a lot of cats don't like to be groomed if you're constantly bringing them in fully matted and impacted, but yet you're asking for the coat to be saved, right? Because they don't like the process, right? There are ways around it. Yeah, there are ways around it. So anyway, all the best. We'll be back. We're just doing nothing but long hair shampoo package all day long. So come back over. The water's great. We'll see you next time. Bye.